For this video, you will have 3 options. There will be an opportunity to connect with the energy of a particular crystal. There will be the option to connect with a sound frequency. When you tune into your body and you feel the way that one or both of these frequencies connects with you, that is how you will know which reading or readings are for you. Energetically, this entire set of readings is charged with elemental storm energy. And I'm going into the woods, so hopefully the wind won't be too much of a barrier for the sound transfer. But this energy feels really strongly connected to the thinning of the veil. It is just a few days into November in the Northern Hemisphere. We have just, the part of the world I live in, gone into an actual daylight time change. That is a conversation for another time, but this energy that's coming through is really, really strongly feeling like your guides coming through and giving direction or valuable insights into your best moves when it comes to navigating changes and weathering the storm. See the description for timestamps and further details. Welcome to those of you who chose pile 1. This is your initial layout. I do want to show you the space a little bit. And now we will get into what it is your guides want you to know in terms of how you will most effectively be weathering the storm and overcoming challenges and obstacles as you transmute and transition in your life at this time. The first thing we will talk about is you were drawn to the tiger's eye if the stone is what drew you. Tiger's eye is a stone that, when unpolished, is very earthy. It's very clay and soil appearing. When it catches the light, it does have a sheen to it, but it's only when it is polished that it really catches the glint that it is most notable for. So in this way, you are being reminded that your power, in crystals this is called chatoyancy, your power comes from movement, and it comes from being willing to examine different perspectives. The polishing element is also important because this is a testament to what happens over time as you have abrasive experiences that bring out your true shine. We will see which frequency ends up being paired with this, and we'll talk about that at the end in a different clip. But for now, that is the energy of Tiger's Eye, and that energy is helping with the overall reading about how you are navigating through turbulent times. Right from the beginning, what I'm noticing is that my eye is drawn to a couple different places in the pile. We do have a little bit of a nice arc and spiral, which may be because of the pine cone. I didn't move it, I left it where it was, being respectful to the space. But even so, we have dagas and then we have manas. So over here we have an understanding of transitions themselves. Every 12 hours we have a sunrise and a sunset. Being able to take advantage of these times of transition will be very important for you. What kind of ritual practices are you implementing that will remind you that each moment of your life is precious and you get to make decisions along the way? The reason it stands out in particular is because Manas is next to it in relation. So Manas is very much about humanity, but we can see that within Manas is Dagas. So we understand something about transitions in this way, and we understand that working together collectively is part of how we move through and navigate change and transformation. That it must be done on an individual level as well as a community level. So this is asking you to pay attention to what groups, friend, family, work, are you engaging in on a regular basis, and making decisions about what groups you want to continue engaging with. That there is power in saying yes and there is power in saying no, knowing what to say yes to and what to say no to, freeing up time and energy so that you can cultivate what you truly want for yourself. The next thing that I'm going to talk about actually is that the wind is picking up a little bit and the sun is coming out from behind the clouds. So we actually are getting direct illumination at this point in the reading. And this is why I am such a proponent of being in the elements and learning to connect with nature. There are so many signs and synchronicities available to us at any given moment. We are the ones who overlook because we are focused on a desired outcome. So this is a reminder to you, again, because of the tiger's eye and the sun coming out. What are you shining a light on? What you are shining a light on is what you are co-creating with divine powers. As I finish saying that, I look down and through the screen on my phone, what I see is Birkana next to Ewaz, and it is underneath Othala. So Birkana is nurturing energy. This is, we can say, the energy of the earth herself. Ewaz is the energy of the horse. It is also the energy of spirit, being able to transcend worlds and understand different perspectives in a dimensional sense. And underneath all of it, we had Othala, or Odal. And that is an energy very much about your legacy. It is about what you are leaving, but your ability to leave a legacy is very much predicated on those who have come before you. So in times of turbulence, or when the storm hits your life, you are being asked to really look at how can you be in alignment and in nurturing energy with what foundations are already in place for you. What that can look like is, if you, the image that's coming to mind, or the sensation is, if you grew up in a family with a parent who was very connected with cooking and preparing meals and having that family time be around the dinner table, or having the breakfast be ready to go for everyone in the family. Something about that element, something about nurturing with sustenance and food is going to be really important for you. As this is a general reading, that will not apply to everyone, but if it applies to you, this is your invitation to dig deeper into that and really begin peeling away the layers of what truly nourishes you. On a physical sense, yes, what we're eating and consuming, on a spiritual sense, on a mental sense, and even on an intellectual sense. There are so many ways that we bring in and consume information, that we bring in and consume chemicals without even knowing, because of the environments that we're in. So bringing awareness to this and really connecting with what's in your heart, what's in your spirit, is going to help you. It's almost a sense of envisioning new ways, new protocols for helping people track the way that they consume. And the only way that this comes about is because there is some sort of disruption in your life. Something that you were familiar with has been taken away. And in that loss, in that grieving period, is when you truly realize the value of it. And you realize the disconnect between the way the world is operating and the way you know it can operate to its highest potential. So we'll just follow the energy from the bottom and move up, since we started here and then I was directed to the bottom. The next thing that's sticking out very clearly is Rido. So your energy of the journey of transportation, transformation, all of these tumultuous change type energies is sitting here in the bottom, but it was pointing towards all of this foundational energy that we just talked about. So it really is, and in this way, it's a counterclockwise motion. So that's feeling like confirmation to me that when you have to backtrack, or when you have to take a step that seems like it is a waste of time, anytime you feel yourself thinking that, that is your clue to actually look at it from a very different perspective, because the angle that you are coming at it from will be necessary for you to actually see the gift that is a part of it. Next to Rido, we have Isa leading into Uruz, Laguz, and Kenaz. And on the side of it, we have a rune that is not face up or face down, but on its side, meaning that between this stationary energy, this sedentary energy, the energy of rumination and deep contemplation, leading into primal creation, things that want to be birthed through you because of your unique genetic blueprint, something that only you are capable of creating, can be done only through connecting with your third eye energy, with connecting with your understanding of moving between worlds, being able to see what is here and understand what is beyond the veil, seeing through the illusions and moving. In this way, the transportation energy is feeling very much like moving beyond and through dimensions, moving beyond and through understandings of pop culture and what is on the surface of everything that you have been taught up until this point in your life. Questioning the status quo is where that line is leading us. And then it brings us into Kenaz, which is your personal power, lining up very much with the energy of the crystal ally for this reading. Your personal drive, your willpower, your decision about how you are going to engage in any and every given circumstance in your life is so paramount to what it is you are ultimately going to experience. This is a powerful arc reminding you of your power. The energy that is going to be challenging for you to connect with along this path is the energy of the world tree. So in this sense, this really is, from one perspective, you will easily be able to understand that energy is reflected, as within, so without, as above, so below. You will easily understand that your thoughts become your reality. From another perspective, you will be almost caught or stationary in the illusions or the drama or the chaos or the storm, because your emotions are so connected to that basic story that you're currently experiencing. So this one is coming through and reminding you that when you feel things are too overwhelming, this is a perfect opportunity to be zooming in and zooming out, to redirect your focus so that you understand the larger context with which everything is unfolding. Now, as I moved that one, I realized that the rune underneath Uros actually is face up, so we're going to look at this one as well. Right underneath this entire arc is the energy of bliss and joy. So absolutely, along this path, anything and everything that brings a smile to your heart, that lights up your eyes, that makes you dance with joy, and you don't even have to think about it, it's just second nature. That is always the path and the direction moving forward. And the more that you lean into this and the more you build into this, you will find this energy is supportive of what you are actually creating within your family units, within your workplace, within your romantic spheres, any and all ways that you are connecting. And as I'm saying that, the sun is coming through and lighting up this patch of moss right in front of us. So really be mindful of what's bringing you joy, especially in the moments when the chaos or the storm is demanding so much of your attention. The storm and the chaos is for the purpose of breaking up what has become sedentary so that a new perspective can be gained. As we come down to this part of the reading, I am not sure if this one was face up or not, or if it shifted when I was moving another rune, but we have transformation energy in a different way. This is the life and death cycle. So we have the nurturing energy for you in foundations, we have transitions and connection to humanity. Also in this transitions and humanity, I want you to see that joy is also reflected upon itself in manas. So there's something about this quick turnaround and returning to your ritual practices that is going to help reconnect you to your joy as well. And the more you do this, that is how you are going to find your soul community and your soul tribe. It is all part of the journey that is bringing you back to what it is you are meant to be creating. And Hagalaz being in your reading is a reminder that there is, in order for growth to happen, things must be released. And so it's just a reminder that even the storms in your life are a blessing, the blessing in disguise, the double-edged sword, if you want to think of it that way. So mental gymnastics, spiritual gymnastics, emotional, physical, moving your body, moving your perspectives, really learning how to attach and then release from the different ways that you are engaging with any given circumstance, because circumstances will always change. The last few pieces coming through, we have, this is harvest energy. So this is an energy that is very suited to this heritage energy that we had coming out in the beginning. What it is you're building will require time investment. They are goals, they are things that will only be recognizable when you have learned how to practice looking back upon what you have achieved. Meaning, the self-reflection that we find with Lagus is going to be critical in you understanding the value of what it is you're creating and knowing when to act upon it. Sitting underneath it, directly underneath it, is Nauthiz. So, This is all about what is necessary, the lessons you are meant to learn in this lifetime. And in the scope of the entire reading to this point, what this indicates to me is that there is some sort of transcendental understanding on your part through the challenges that you are currently transmuting. After you transmute the current challenge that you are facing, life will no longer look the same to you. And this is a really great thing, because underneath and next to it, we have Ansus about communication with the divine, and we have Fehu about what it is that we cultivate, our wealth, our abundance. So these necessary changes that you find yourself going through, learning how to navigate your perspectives and learning how to journey in and out, zooming back and forth, shining a light, taking the light away, and understanding that it all culminates and builds towards something greater, is how you are going to finally be able to speak your truth and be richly rewarded for what it is that you uniquely are bringing to the shared experience. Quick reminder that I also will be bringing Sacred Adornment to the shop. That information can be found below. Sacred Adornment is made with natural fibers, oftentimes including crystal alloys, and select pieces also have rune staves attached to them. Information for that will be in the description box. That is all I am seeing for your reading. See the description for more information on the frequencies used and ways that you can work with me further for one-to-one readings, as well as personal development and mentorship. I look forward to seeing you at future videos. Let it be known that for the second option, these friends have invited me to do the reading in this location. And as much as I would love to sit down and do the reading right here so that the runes are kind of where my shadow is on my phone, that is directly in the path. So we will set up camp over here. And they will be in the vicinity to help with your reading. Okay, so just tuning into the elements, not even sitting down to create the circle and open the space. What I am being told is that the messages here are important and they are profound. So what I'm being told to share is the energy of the space. Then I will go find another location that will allow for the reading to come through, hopefully less obstructed by the sound of the wind. The energy of the space, we're up on a ridge, which is why there's more wind exposure, but also, as you saw, the light is coming through. So as it pertains to pile number 2, this information is important because it is speaking to understanding your environment. It's speaking to understand what is expected of you under the circumstances and the conditions that you currently find yourself. Remembering that there is no constant in life, that everything is constantly changing and shifting. And our perspective of time is impacted by looking at comparison. So the life of a tree much longer than the life of some humans, depending on the species of tree, whereas the life of a fruit fly significantly shorter than the life of most humans. And this location, the energy of it was incredibly strong, and that's why I was going to do the reading here to bring in that energy. But as I was feeling and asking permission and seeing what was going on before I sat down and set everything up, what I was told is that the importance of this moment for reading number 2 is understanding that your desires for change and transformation are valid. If there is a lot of resistance to what it is you are desiring, it's an invitation to take the underlying energy of that desire and move it into an environment that is more conducive, more supportive of actually helping manifest it. The voice of the wind here will be so loud that it will drastically impact the audio. So that's why I'm being told that there are times when we need to let the elements move and do what they do best, and then we learn how to coincide with them. Pile 2, your reading is very unusual compared to the way that normally they play for me. As I was moving towards a space that would be more conducive to the audio, I was going down into the valley. So the energy of your reading is about the importance of the descent, not thinking of the descent as a loss or a detriment, but understanding it is part of the journey. And as I took a few steps forward, the sun changed and came through. Time has passed, things are different, but I came back to give this part of the message that was coming through, and then to show you what I actually saw as I was walking. I'm getting the sense for this reading, I will still pull runes, but I'm getting the sense for this reading that you are collectively a group of individuals that is connected into senses that are not the typical set of senses, meaning that there are different ways that you connect with energy and that you connect with your intuition, which is why this reading for number 2 has been so on the move, and it's been up and it's been down and it's been speak and then don't speak and all of this stuff. But it's a very moving kind of energy. And the rune, when I get to the place where we're actually going to cast the runes, we'll learn more about what to do with this movement and how it is helpful for transitioning through chaos and through the storms. So here's what I needed you to see. And that moment when the sun popped through was very much a moment of understanding that knowing when you are on the right path will be undeniable. That for all of the places in your life when you feel like you have had to go back, or you've had to wait, or you've had to sustain unfavorable circumstances or events or situations, that all of it is bringing you to the place where you will irrevocably know that the light is being shown upon you and that you keep moving forward. Okay, hopefully we will find your location very soon. Reminder that I also will be bringing Sacred Adornment to the shop. That information can be found below. Sacred Adornment is made with natural fibers, oftentimes including crystal alloys, and select pieces also have rune staves attached to them. Information for that will be in the description box. This is your location. This spot is calling to me, but there are a lot of mushrooms and I don't want to squish them or disrupt them. There's a spot where we can do the reading, and I will sit on this tree that has fallen over. But next to it is another tree, this one is a cedar, that is not dead, but is leaning in a very lopsided fashion, putting stress on this little pine that is right here in front of us. This energy feels very community oriented, and it also feels very much like the energy of trailblazing or existing in a way that is not typical. So that's the last information I will give you before I set up your circle, and then welcome to your reading. So I'll start by talking about the stone that is incorporated with this reading. This is Vesuvianite, also known as Idocrase. It is a stone that ties in with the heart chakra, but from a place of passion and lust. There's a real visceral energy to the Vesuvianite. In this way, it's about manifesting the inner desires of your heart into physical reality. And so I had forgotten that that's the crystal that was associated with number 2. It makes more sense now why there was so much movement in the beginning of your reading. So this passion, the stuff that is stirring everything, what I will say is that even in the runes themselves, we have justice and balance is pointing towards disruption and stagnancy or solid foundations. So breaking the calm and moving into something that is a little more turbulent is actually part of how you're bringing your passions into fruition. It is part of how you are actually being able to weather the storm. And underneath the balance, underneath the justice and the sacrifice, all of that energy of what it takes to reach equilibrium again and again and again, right? Because equilibrium is not a constant. I believe I said that energy was already showing up for you guys. There is no constant. Underneath it is the energy of the world tree itself. And this is the energy of introspection and also zooming out and understanding like cosmic consciousness. So we really are building, and we're kind of disrupting ways of being or ways of understanding. What you've been familiar with is actually coming to an end. Something has been illuminated, something shocking has moved and transitioned. And that's why learning to rebalance the pieces in a way that's in alignment with your heart, your goals, and your passions for your life is the way that's going to nourish everything involved, from the roots, the trunk, all the way to the crown. Now, the other important thing is that In this cluster, we also have algas. So that was a very interesting way that I pronounced that accent. Don't be judgmental about sound is what I'm hearing, because the thunder is going to create a resonance that's going to, the deafening effect of loud sound puts you in a different state, like the shifting states of consciousness. So the fact that I said algae in a very strange way, and then again it came out strange to me, there's something about sound. Don't worry about sounding inappropriate. Even in light of your reading earlier in the beginning of being heard or not being heard, your voice will always matter. Your voice will always carry. And I was drawn to this stone at the bottom because it's within camera view. That's right next to Nauthis, which is about life lessons. It's about fate. It's about what you are destined to actually learn and embody in your time in this life. So that's what all of this is pointing to. These two, the energy is on the side, meaning that it will be energy that is slightly challenging to connect with for you. From one perspective, it will be very easy. From another, much more challenging. And it is spiritual connection, as well as the energy of what it takes to actually harvest something. In light of this reading, what it actually requires, the ascent, the descent, in order to find your place. It's that kind of energy. And once you do find your place and you set up camp, well, you have all kinds of friends and allies that are here to help you make it home. So don't be afraid of the change and the transitions. Understand that what you're balancing is your heart's desires versus the demands of other people or the outer world. I was going to then move to the central part of this reading, but realized in a very shocking fashion, I had not seen this rune until just now, but it was outside of the camera frame, is Lagus. So this is very much about other worlds. Traditionally, it is associated with water, with the lake, things like that, and we talk about reflection. But my relationship with this rune changed very much when I realized, living in the climate that I do, where we have cloud cover so frequently during the year, clouds are lakes of the sky, and they are entire ecosystems unique to themselves. And in this way, you begin to understand that the energy of Lagus, while connected with the concept of the third eye, is very much the energy of other worlds, dimensions, different perspectives of reality. And so this is coming in, reminding you that you have what it takes in order to actually, the original phrase that was coming through was like to make lemonades out of lemon, right? That's the phrase that we hear. But for you, it's almost a feeling of like understanding that there's so much more that you can do with that concept. It's not just about adding sweetener and making it a lemonade. It is about understanding that when life gives you lemons, it is giving you the power, the passion, the acidity to eat through and break up everything that is in your way, that is holding you back, that is causing you to be stagnant and to not be heard because you're not in the right location. You're not among the right people, the right environment. Something about this is changing and shifting. Now, the rest of your reading is actually quite complex as well. I am not shocked based on how your reading started. But we do, above this necessity, above the fate energy, we do have Oros, which is primal creation. So the necessity to create, and then on the other side here, we have the other worlds. So as we're creating and we're building, leaning into the trust and the faith that what you're building will come to fruition, that your ability to navigate and circumvent things that are detrimental to you is very much in your hands. You are protected and guided. There is no doubt, there is no question. Think back to the sunlight through the trees as we were making our way to this location. Now, beyond that, I believe this is Hagalaz. Yep. So Hagalaz is life-death energy. It is the understanding of the life-death-life cycle, that some things need to be given away, some things need to be brought in, and it is a process. So learning to navigate your challenges in life, learning to weather the storm for you, what your reading is saying is that embrace and be passionate about the journey. It's a phrase that we hear very often, and you are specifically being reminded to hone into what you are grateful for right now in this moment about everything that you have, and to see what is working for you and in your favor. That's why there's so much disruption and there's so much moving, because that is what is actually gifting you the ability to create everything that's coming through here. Now, what's coming through here, we have the energy of Rido, of the journey itself, of transformation, in the sense that you are transporting something. You are moving it from one location to another. And connected to it, we have Sawelo. We have the sun herself. The sun herself, who on our journey from the ridge down into the valley presented in a most brilliant way. This right here is absolute reminder for you to get out and connect with the elements. Like I said, you connect with energy in a way that is different than most people around you, which is part of why this change and transformation is coming in. When you tap into how you actually communicate with the elements and with the world around you, magical, joyful bliss is going to be in your life. And it's a reminder that this is guaranteed and it is protected. But you must be studious about and intentional about your passions for the lessons that you are actually learning right now. I am also going to pull this rune because it was on its side. This is about cultivation. This is about what you focus on is what you actually end up experiencing in life. And so a lot of times we associate this rune with abundance. And I would invite you to think about that on a deeper level. Given everything that has unfolded in your reading, you are being asked to really consider what is meaningful to you, what holds value. Really define that term for yourself. What is valuable? And whatever is valuable, you lean into that more and you build that into your passions, into what you're creating, into what you're learning. As you do that, community will build around you. It is guided, protected, it is joyful, it is inevitable. And that is what I am seeing for your reading pile too. It has been one heck of a journey. I thank you so much for being here. I'm going to thank your guides, my guides, the runes, the journey itself, the elements, and I would invite you to check out the description box if you are interested in one-to-one readings or other mentorship opportunities that I have available for personal growth and development to help you through times of change and transformation. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Welcome to those of you who chose pile 3, option 3. For this reading, we are connecting with the gem, with the crystal ally pink petalite. So pink petalite is a very grounding and nurturing stone that connects with the heart. Because of its protective nature, it is often very suited for those with more introverted tendencies, those who do better and recharge when they are dealing with their inner world rather than the outer world. This is a stone that also helps you connect with celestial energy. So that is the crystal energy that drew you to this reading. I just want to show you real quick the magic of the place that called for your reading. And there you have it. The final thing that I will tell you as a behind the scenes, my practice has transformed quite a bit since I last did collective readings. And this was a very mobile set of readings. The very first reading I began sitting on the ground. The second one I was elevated sitting on a trunk. This one I am stooping or kneeling to this stump that is holding the runes for us. So this one has an energy of sovereignty just in the positioning of the layout for me to be able to read it. And this kind of energy is important for you because your team, your guides are wanting you to know that part of how you navigate and transform during this storm or how you deal with chaos and extreme differences is by getting close to the earth again, by actually connecting and creating a safe space for yourself to recharge. I mean, look how magical that is. All of the readings have been magical because nature and the elements are shining through as they do. But this one in particular has a lot more of that kind of energy of kneeling down to receive. So anything that you can do to open up your receptive processes and to surrender and go with the flow as a way to recharge you through times of change and chaos will be super helpful to you. Now, as we get into the runes, a couple things are standing out to me right away. We have Nauthiz, which is all about necessity. It's about the lessons we are meant to learn in this lifetime. And right next to it is actually a pile of 3. So we have then Laguz, which is about other worlds. It is about understanding different dimensions. The celestial energy of the pink petalite suggests that you are going to actually be opening up new psychic type gifts. We have primal creation energy coming through for you. And at the base of it is Agiz, about protection and grounding. So in the process of all of this, as you move through chaos and change and transformation along your journey, what your guides are reminding you is that through these necessary growing pains, is the word that's coming through, it is important to remember that you are a co-creator of what you experience, that your guides and your team are with you, and what you focus on is what you're actually attracting. It's a phrase we hear often, but it's good to be reminded of it in the sense that changing your perspective from standing to sitting to kneeling to being collected in space that actually nourishes you is going to be important. At the center, we have Tiwaz. So this is calling for an underlying foundation of rebalancing things, understanding what is a true and just sacrifice, meaning that you are not letting people step over you, that you are not allowing boundaries to be crossed that actually deplete you. Because the more you do that, the less you're able to show up in the ways that truly matter, not only for you, but for the larger communities that you are a part of. We're going to see, okay, so everything here is not part of the reading, even though it is clustered. But over here, we have some interesting things unfolding on the top of your reading. We have the energy of the journey, of transformation, of movement, of something becoming something else. What is the word I'm thinking of here? It is transmuting. It's the energy of transmuting. And what's with it is not only the divine voice within you, but the life-death life cycle, something that is being transmuted, much like this stump that you're reading is being hosted on. Something that was once living is being given, and in this sense, we have kind of the sacrifice energy with Tiwaz. It's understanding that certain things, certain patterns, behaviors, certain ways of thinking will need to be released. Because when they are released, and look at that sun come through, when they are released, that is when this nurturing energy of the earth, of Mother Nature, will actually come through and actually support. That word actually came through a lot in quick succession. So you're also being called to understand or play with actualization, actualizing, bringing your thoughts, your dreams into fruition. And a lot of times when we're dealing with the energy of storms or chaos or turbulence, that is not the time that we want to be out creating. But you have the creation energy, you have the life, death, life energy, you have the divine voice coming in support with creation. You also have the sun and the torch for the personal illumination. So you have light and protection and creative energy all throughout this reading. And the words and the feelings stopped for a moment because the lighting was really captivating me. Something about the scenery, something about the ambiance. So you're being called to create a nurturing space for yourself. You're being called to, in the ways that you do, find a way to anchor into what nourishes and supports you in the times of chaos. Because the times of chaos are actually moving and shifting things for you to be able to speak in a way that is divinely guided, rather than speaking from the ego. And with the introvert energy that we talked about with the pink petalite, what's coming through in connection with that is an understanding that there are many times when you can speak and give voice to something and it's not from your heart. It's not something that you truly can get behind, that you're doing it because it satisfies something else. So you're being asked to really reassess those boundaries. And as you journey into what is coming forward, as you begin to shine the light, not only on the world outside of you, but the world inside of you, this bottom part of your reading is really going to be the foundational part of everything else. So coming through and understanding that your ability to transcend and connect with celestial realms is going to be highly important. The way that you connect with the celestial realms may be different than what you have seen previously. And the reason this is coming through just now is because of the divine voice, the divine expression, the life force. There's something about you that is going to be able to create and nourish and present something in a truly unique fashion. And until you do that, things are going to continue to be clustered together and concealed. And it's not, I'll clarify, it's not an energy of like, you better do this or else. It's an energy of, there's a lot of fear holding your energy right now. The chaos and the storm and all of the things that are asking you to retreat are actually need to be shifted into something that's actually activating you and turning on your creative powers and your creative essence. That is why those phrases came out the way they did, not as a warning, but as an invitation to reassess the way that you're examining. Quick reminder that I also will be bringing Sacred Adornment to the shop. That information can be found below. Sacred Adornment is made with natural fibers, oftentimes including crystal alloys, and select pieces also have rune staves attached to them. Information for that will be in the description box. So that is what I have for your reading. We will put you up to the sunlight one more time and remind you that you have the power to create what you experience. Do not let the chaos distract you and overwhelm you. Lead with your heart and you cannot go wrong. That is all I am seeing for your reading today. Thank you so much for being here, and I want to thank your guides, my guides, our guides, the ancestors that have come before, and the generation that is coming after. If you are interested in personal readings, check the description below, as well as other opportunities for mentorship to dive deeper into how to integrate the energy of this reading to build the life of your dreams. I look forward to seeing you in future videos.